these lights. What made me decide to become an electrician? Well, it was kind of a second choice in terms of those choices you have to kind of make when you graduate high school as to what you would like to do. And one was computers, because of course computers at that time was booming. Another was being an electrician, but you know, it wasn't traditionally a woman thing to do. So there wasn't going to be any random men stopping by and saying, hey, you want to come help me do some electrical work? Or there was never any posters or anything that related to how to become an electrician. Fast forward about 20, 30 years later, I was at my house and one of the GFIs went out, and I decided to fix it because I thought I was smart. Well, I'm not so smart. I almost burned down my house because I saw the wall turning brown, like where the wire is running was turning brown. And the laundry light was flickering, and I was like, uh-oh, something ain't right. So I had to call an electrician. And guess what he was going to charge me? At the time, it was only $75. Bing! I was like, hey, $75 just to come and change this one thing right here? That's good money. You know what came next? I tried to figure out a way to become an electrician. Period. All right, so fast forward. How to become an electrician. First, you have to have the desire, because without the desire, you're not gonna make it. Trust me, it's not easy. But so after researching and realizing that jobs wouldn't hire you if you didn't have any experience and blah blah blah, I figured out a loophole. That's the union. All right. So I was gonna take part in using affirmative action for women now to get into the union, because I knew that they could not deny me. All right? They could not deny me. I signed up actually in Atlanta to try to join the union, but it was pretty saturated at the time, which means there were a lot of applicants and they weren't really interviewing any new applicants. You know, they were kind of a waiting list. So strategically, something happened in my life, an event that caused me to have the opportunity to move to South Carolina. And that I did. And when I got there, I basically learned that they had a union there and that I could sign up. And I did that. I signed up, I took the test, passed the test, took the background test, of course passed that, and I was ready. So I waited and waited, and I called and called, and they never really gave me a response. So I felt some kind of way. And right about the time I knew classes were going to start, because that's when they were kind of bringing their new students, when classes were going to start, I just showed up. Seriously, these people never called me, barely sent me a letter, and I showed up. And I saw people in the hall sitting and waiting to be interviewed so that they can be able to, join. And I heard them say, I guess Miss Murray is not here. Well, no, I bust through that door and I showed my face. Yes, I did. Yes, I showed up. All right. And so just to let you know, yes, there were a table full of white men, old white, country, old white men. All right. And one black dude. No, it's all good. You know, I can't even fault him, like, poor thing. He did a great job. Anyway, so The one thing that stood out for me is when they asked me, how do I feel, or do people get on my nerves? I, to me, it's kind of like it, I didn't take that well, but I was smart enough, and I knew I didn't even relate to getting on nerves, because I'm not like one of those people who, I think girls do that. You getting on my nerves? Like, I just never been that type, but so it didn't relate to me. And I basically told them, hey, I'm here to learn. That's it. That's what I'm here for. When do I start? When do I start? When I start. That's all I really wanted to know. And they accepted it, and I started, and of course I passed the test and everything like that, and I was in. Oh, interesting. My first year as an apprentice. I didn't work initially. It took about 6 months for me to even get my first job. So I don't even think I got my first electrical job or assignment until almost the beginning of my second year of going to class. So in the union, you actually get signed up to a company so that you can work for that company and also go to class at night, like twice a week in the evenings. And every company agreed that, and they would let you off so that you can go study. And in these classes, we learn basically how to pass the state journeyman test that you take. After 4 years of apprenticeship, you have to pass a state test in order to get your license. And so that's what they're teaching you. And they're also teaching you basically how to be a good union person. Yeah. Brotherhood. Yeah, brotherhood. And so I went to class and I studied my ass off. I read every freaking page of that book more than once. I read it like 2 or 3 times and took notes. My goal was to like get 100 on every test because I knew all the answers, and they would go over the answers every time we would take a test. They would go over it, and I would write everything he said down. And so, yeah, busting them down. And this one guy, I can't remember his name, he sat beside me. He was like, you trying to become Apprentice of the Year, huh? I was like, what's that? And he kind of told me that, it's the person who gets the top score in the class. But I kind of wasn't even thinking about it at the time. But, he did put it in my head. Fast forward, like I said, I didn't work. I worked at the gas station on 3rd shift. Okay, that's a whole nother story. I worked at a gas station in South Carolina on 3rd shift, y'all. And then went to school twice a week, studied every night, and then, finally got me a job like at the second year of going to school, or my second year of apprenticeship. Now, the funny part is after first year going to school, I was in the elevator and some young ladies was like, yeah, a girl in our class got Apprentice of the Year. And it's only 3 of us. One in the elevator, me, and the other one, we already knew she couldn't. But they never freaking told me. I left for the summer. The teacher never said nothing. That was the only information I got. And how I found out I was Apprentice of the Year is the next year I could not afford my books. And I walked in, and that poor same little black man that was in the meeting, he says, Miss Murray, you don't have to pay for your books because you were Apprentice of the Year. I damn near almost about to cry there, but I kind of hold my composure like, you know what? This is just a test. It's just a test. You can't worry about what people think about you. Just bust through, okay? Bust through. Read all they books, study, and bust through. That's it. They say you either can't take what's up here. It's true. You cannot take what's up here. It belongs to you, only you. Never forget that. So I was Apprentice of the Year. I was happy. I got my books, and I read all those too. And yeah, and so the next time I kind of worked for an industrial company was cool. I learned a lot. I saw some crazy stuff, some crazy guys, but I had fun. I learned a lot, and I gotta say thank you. You know, I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate all the people. Like, South Carolina was cool. I'm happy. You know, I'm happy that I got the opportunity to experience it. That's it.